Disruption to power and water services to some of the residential homes in the northern side of the island continues as contractors work on the roads for the fibre optic cable project. Director of Telecommunications Tutuli Haka said the problems that have occurred with the telephone lines is a result of the cutting of roads to lay cables. He said Telecom wished to apologize to those affected by the cuts and advised that telecom technicians are working to reinstate the services back to normal as soon as possible. Project manager Kennedy Tukutama said both Niue Power, contractors, telecom and water are supposed to work concurrently to avoid these issues, but the understanding is that services affected is the responsibility of the department to restore. Niue Power Corporation contractors were unable to comment today, but a representative from the office said telecom technicians are supposed to work with their contractors to identify where the telecom cables lay to avoid these mishaps. With the project a few months till completion, it is hoped the problematic issues will be solved. A new Director of Education has been appointed, but the successful applicants will not take up their post until October. The new DOE will await the departure of the current Director of Education, Mrs. Janet Tasmania, before undertaking their role. Reports from the Niue Public Service Commission is that this is in the transition period to familiarize the new DOE with one of the prominent roles in the public service. We'll bring you more on this story in our future news bulletin. Water is essential for survival, and Niue joined the rest of the world to mark and celebrate World Water Day that has been held annually on the 22nd of March since 1993. Last Friday, Niue's program began with a march past starting at Niue Primary School to the Commercial Centre. The focus and theme for this year is a reflection on the International Year of Water Cooperation. There were official speeches from the Minister of Public Works Department and Director of the Public Works and a UNDP representative reflecting on the importance of water. Conserving water should be the responsibility of the whole community, but over the years, Public Works has been the main organizer for World Water Day.
It falls on Public Works under the IWRM water sector to organize this event, as well as assistance from Environment PAC program and also health. But more so the two schools. We're very glad to have them celebrate the day with us.
According to organizers, the awareness levels of students is quite high, and children were quite keen to share the message to look after and conserve the water for future generations.
Raising awareness when they're still small as children, because in turn they'll grow up to be responsible citizens and look after our water. And also today we also, our own theme is rainwater, it's harvesting of rainwater. That's part and parcel of our work now under PAC project to get water tanks for all households on Niue. We've yet to sign off on that and start the work, but it's certainly we're trying to put in place all these things, so if we have a problem with our groundwater, at least we still have our backup supply.
But it was the entertainment from the students that brightened up the day with dances about dancing in the rain, as well as some local numbers dating back some 20 years. Niue High School teachers also sang their winning number from one of the water song competitions. We spoke to some of the youngsters about what they thought about World Water Day.
It's very happy because water is the key to life. Everyone's really into the dancing and stuff about water. We need to protect the water that we have because it could run out any day.
That it's about saving water, not wasting water.
So, what did you think about the program that was organized today?
Pretty good.
Which bit did you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed the bit where the man said that they get water from mountains.
So, when you get home, what are you going to go and share with your parents about saving water?
Share the things that they need to know about water. Not to waste water and use water when it needs to be used.
Our water is from the ground, and our water is fresh, so we have to look after it.
So, what did you get to do in the World Water Day program today?
We got to sing and dance, and it was very fun.
So, what did you think about the whole program?
I thought it was very nice because we had a lot of fun, and we have to protect our water.
So, when you get home, what are you going to do?
Drink a lot of water and protect it.
Based on the responses from our youngsters, it would appear the future of our water resources are in safe hands. Niue is in the process of developing an agriculture sector plan with assistance from the Secretariat of the Pacific Community. Dr. Seosioa Halavato of SPC is here for 1 week working with the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries to formulate the first draft of the plan. This process will involve public discussions with stakeholders within the agriculture sector to gauge the fundamental and overarching issues relating to sector based on the need for a plan.
The need to have this is to make sure that the development and efforts and resources put into the agriculture sector over the next coming 5 years are focused and guided by this sector plan, and so that's the importance of having it.
So, the need for this plan, did this come from the growers, the department, or from the organisation SPC?
It came from the department. Essentially, it's something that will help guide us, but it's very much a plan that belongs to all of the stakeholders. So we've had a number of consultations. We've invested a significant amount of time in the Food Security and Sustainable Livelihoods program, which FAO is developing. We had fairly large projects developed with high expectations from the stakeholders. And so what we've tried to do is incorporate all of the information that's been gathered from those consultations, as well as other opportunities from the village visits, as well as the Chamber of Commerce meeting with the private sector, so that that information is incorporated into this and actually guides how the strategy is developed. It takes on board the changing environment that we're in, the population size, growing tourism market and the surge in that area. It's hopefully going to make sure that what we do is very relevant for the stakeholders.
Brendan says this is something that was recognized in the National Strategic Plan, and the hope is the document produced will be a working document that can be implemented.
Well, I think this time we have all of the stakeholders present. The old sector policy was before my time, obviously, and so we will allocate the level of personnel and put in place not only a plan but a resourcing strategy and an implementation strategy, so that all of the work is focused on this. The department can focus its outputs, and so it'll be important that it's approved by government, so that it's aligned with the new strategic plan. So we are sort of crystal ball gazing at the moment, trying to look forward of what the new strategic plan will include. But there are some things that we know for certain, and that is that food security won't change. The crops that we currently traditionally grow here won't change. They're the staple, like taro and stuff for the island. Tourism is growing, those sorts of things. So we're pretty sure that we've got that right. We may have to make some slight modifications when the new strategic plan is completed, and so that then will feed back down into our corporate planning process and our work plan. So hopefully we can draw from the sector plan, and that will basically guide all of our work, and that's how I anticipate that we will deliver on this strategy.
The department has another session on Thursday morning at the Public Service Building with all stakeholders who would like to contribute to the first draft. The expectation is the agriculture sector plan can be completed and endorsed by government by the end of this financial year, and then the department can work on implementing the plan in the new financial year. Slow response from the public to renew motor vehicle drivers and dog owner licenses could see a number of people up for prosecution over the next 2 months. Niue Police Department is continuing with the 5-year driver's licenses and have now reached those who have surnames beginning with letters from K to O, whilst others outside of this category will continue to pay for 1-year licenses. By law, the annual licenses are meant to be renewed by the 31st of March each year. Niue Police advised that it would be best to get in touch with the Niue Police now, because this will be a short week and the end of the month is fast approaching, to avoid prosecution or fines. And to end our news bulletin for tonight, the Iglesia Cristiano Niue annual celebration, the Ahome, so all villagers around the island gather at the Millennium Hall on Saturday for the usual church hymn celebrations and song. Many of the Iglesia churches travel to Alofi this time every year to showcase some new and old hymns composed especially for the occasion. This year, the Catholic Church also joined the event with their harmonious sounds that is always welcomed by many on the island. As with every Ahome, the monetary side is also one of the contributions of the day for the main Iglesia for its programs, and this year received just over $20,000. It might have been less in total for this year, but still an extraordinary amount for a one-day event on the island. The Iglesia Cristiano Niue event also continues to be enjoyed by many churchgoers, especially the older generation. That's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.